Here with Chef Aaron again tonight. Aaron, what are we going to do tonight?
Tonight we are doing a small dish, or a large dish, Caponata. And within that recipe, that dish, we have lovely ingredients of eggplant or aubergine, onions, tomatoes, celery, capers, olives, white vinegar, salt, oil, pepper, and that's the lot. What I'm going to show you how to do is blanch and peel some tomatoes. So what you want to do, just take the tomatoes off the vine very easily. If not on the vine, just any tomato will work. And what you want to do is just a little score, X, at the top of the tomato. And now I will show you the next step. Okay, first thing we're going to do is the onions. So you want to take the top off, the bottom off, and you want to peel all the skin off. What we're going to do now with the onions is what is known as brunoise. That's what I'm using today. So cut it in half, and you just want to go straight down, about all the same size. Very easy, very simple. It's all rough. And then careful not to cut yourself. A bit at the top, a little messy. And then all you do, straight down. And that's how we're using the onion. Okay, this recipe requires the celery heart. So basically peel it back, peel it back, peel it back, till you get to the last of the dark green. So that's what I'll be using today. Alright, the core of the celery. Now what we're doing with that is cutting it similar to the onion. So what you want to do is just straight down, all the way down, and what ends up happening is you're getting almost a brunoise. Okay, so now we're doing the aubergine. What you want to do, make it easy, is in half first. So now you've got a flat surface. You want rough chunks for this recipe, and you want it about 2 centimeters to an inch. So this is the first bit, straight down, so it's lengthways. Alright, give it one more cut here, and then easiest way is through here. Just nice and careful. Got to be very careful because as the eggplants get older, sometimes the skin is leathery. And next we're halving the olives, so just straight through. I've got bought ones that are already pipped and stuffed. Okay, boiling water. Now you want to put the tomatoes in. 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds. Now you just want to take the tomatoes out, straight into the ice water. And the last one, right there. Move them around a bit. Cool them as fast as you can. And here's a tip, if your tomatoes are overripe, easily 30 seconds. If they're underripe, it may take longer than 30 seconds, may take a minute. Alright, and what happens is the skin splits, so all you have to do, take it from the skin and just keep peeling around.
And what do those little crosses help do?
Just helps the skin break away. Okay, now the tomatoes that I've already de-skinned, how we use them is just plain and simply go right through, and then when it's in half, got a nice flat surface, down once again, and then crossways. Be very careful because they are slippery. And just personally, I prefer adding some lemon as well. So I'm probably going to add juice of half a lemon. you want is olive oil, bring it up to the heat, and then with our very rough brunoise of onions, you just want to saute them down. Now that's sauteing the way we want it. Now as it gets to this stage where it's starting to wilt down, what you want to do is add all of the celery. Okay, so now at this stage you have the onion starting to colour and all of the celery is still firm in the middle. That's how you want it. Now what you do at this stage is all the tomato in. You just want to slightly cook it down. Add a little bit more oil just to get it going a bit further. This has been 3-4 minutes and it is starting to look light in colour, how you want it. At this stage, another 3-4 minutes. Okay, now it is at the stage where you're meant to add the aubergine. But because most people don't have pans that will actually fit for everything, one way is do it in the oven. The other way is at this stage where all ready to go, you add your olive and 200 grams of capers, and then all you have to do, just lightly mix it through, just so the flavours are all starting to mix. See how the pan's now starting to go a bit dry? That's when you add a little bit more oil, and then you add your vinegar. Now I'm not going to add all of the vinegar because it might be a bit harsh. You can always add more later. And one of my favourite ingredients, probably about a quarter of that lemon. And then once it's a nice mix, straight into a bowl. Okay, now with all the flavour still in the pan from before, pan nice and hot, add a little bit of olive oil. Now you want to add your aubergine or eggplant. So what you're doing here is part frying and part steaming. Now you will need a glass of water and you will need a lid. So it's in there, build the steam up. Now that the pan has now just gone dry, now this is where you're starting to get the colour, and what you want to do very carefully, a little bit of water, lid on, shake it about, keep it on high. You really want to evaporate that water, keep the eggplant moving so it doesn't burn, and that steam will penetrate that eggplant. Up, give them a stir. Now, if you're not sure if there is too much liquid or you think that there is too much liquid, all you have to do when you're cooking is just put them in a strainer and let all the liquid run off. Okay, now most of the liquid has evaporated. That is soft, little bit of colour, and still just a tad firm to touch. So that means that it's on the verge of being cooked, and what you have is carryover cooking. So what you want to do with your wall mix, and just keep piling on top, and you just keep on repeating this process. We have now cooked the aubergine. We have added it all to the bowl. Now while it's all still hot, all you want to do is stir it all through. Now after we've added everything to the bowl, while it's still hot, Stir it through all nicely. Now comes the taste test. Now, I think it needs more salt. You have got the olives and the capers. That's a lot of salt already in it. Here, all I'm doing is to taste. I think it needs a little more lemon juice. And I reckon it will need just that touch extra of that vinegar I did not add all of. And pepper. I stir again. And so it's all fully mixed. Another taste test. Got to be careful because it is still hot. I reckon it doesn't need anything else. But at this stage, if it's not sweet enough, you can add sugar. Okay, so now while it's still warm, it's a beautiful warm salad. Beautiful. And it goes very well with lamb, beef, or other vegetables, or even better, as a nice salad dish in which everyone can share. Happy days.